Project finalization is a very unique and required process on West Virginia Division of Highways construction projects. Each person working on a project for the Division of Highways has responsibilities and duties that will ensure the project is finalized successfully. We will focus on the impact each has on a project's success. Finalization starts on the first day of each project. Everyone has a role to ensure the project is finalized on time. This includes the district project personnel, the materials division, the finals section, and the contractor. Closing out projects involves confirming acceptance of each material incorporated into the project, and it officially ensures prompt payment of invoices and taxes and that allocated funds are not held for long periods of time. Contractors, West Virginia Division of Highway staff, and any consultants acting on their behalf all play a role in making each project a success. It is important to make sure the project staff has the training needed and will ensure the materials documentation is in order. It's everyone's responsibility to produce and final out a successful project. Let's discuss some of the responsibilities of each of the roles involved, the resources available, and step through a timeline of the process. The standard West Virginia Division of Highways construction project team includes the following staff from the District Construction Department: the construction engineer, any area engineers, the project supervisor, project inspectors, and the district office manager and finals section. The finalization team also includes staff from the District Materials Division and Materials Control Soils and Testing, or MCS&T, and of course the contractor. Construction engineers and area engineers lead their construction divisions with vast responsibilities. At a minimum, they organize staff, administer programs, and provide day-to-day direction for their construction division in their respective districts. They have varied years of experience in the field and use that experience to develop others and to lead their team effort. Project supervisors report directly to the area engineers, who in turn report to the construction engineer. When it comes to finalizing projects in the District Construction Department specifically, it is the area engineers and ultimately the construction engineer's responsibility to ensure the project personnel are trained and supported and are required to maintain proper documentation for the finalization process. Communication is the key to a successful project. A project supervisor's responsibilities are directly related to the project finalization process. Project supervisors are responsible for overseeing any inspection staff on site and ensuring they are properly equipped with the knowledge and resources needed. Supervisors approve the daily work reports, or DWRs, that inspectors submit that document the daily activities, hours, and pay quantities on the project. They work with the staff to correct any deficiencies in the documentation or pay quantities. Project supervisors also work closely with the district finals section. When processing estimates, project supervisors work with the construction office manager and the district finals section to verify available funding on the project and work closely with them if there are any issues. Project supervisors check and verify certified payrolls and complete the required related forms. They must confirm compliance of all EEO and DBE requirements if required. Change orders should be generated by the project supervisor as soon as they are approved. All supporting project documentation should also be placed in the corresponding project-wise folder. Delays in processing change orders cause delays in finalization. All of these duties relate to the importance of the steps in finalizing a project. The project supervisor should communicate regularly with the District Materials Division to ensure the required quality assurance testing requirements are being met. The project supervisor will work closely with the project inspectors to confirm receipt of materials acceptance on each line item of the project as needed. Once line items are completed, the certification method should be finalized and the items sent to the Materials Division for pre-certification. Do not wait to the end of the project to do this. Near the completion of a project, project supervisors will monitor the progress and amount of work remaining to determine if the project is substantially complete. Once the substantially complete date is entered in Site Manager and the corresponding report is generated, liquidated damages will not be assessed to the contractor. A final inspection will then be performed and a final punch list of work items will be created. The contractor will be required to correct any deficiencies listed on the punch list. The project supervisor will also work with the contractor and the final section to confirm that the B&O taxes have been paid if applicable. These are all important steps in the finalization process. Project inspectors have a variety of duties, but their main responsibility is to document and record all work performed on the construction project. Inspectors document the contractor's work by being present on site, watching the construction process, and being knowledgeable of the requirements while checking for conformity to the standards and specifications for each item of work. Inspectors receive, track, and record all materials brought to and used on a project. This is directly related to the process of finalizing a project. Inspectors collect, sign, and date invoices and delivery tickets for materials delivered to the site. The contract ID number should be added to the document if not already there. The document should be placed in ProjectWise under the corresponding line item number. This is an important part of the finalization process. All line items on a project must be certified, and the inspector is the first person to determine if the proper documentation is available and contains the proper information, especially a lab number if applicable. Inspectors should refer to resources they have, like the project plans, the proposal, the specifications and supplementals, the construction manual, and any related standard detailed plans. They should be familiar with the Evidence of Inspection Report, which details the acceptance method for each material line item approved by the Materials Division. Challenges inspectors face include a lack of experience and field knowledge and a lack of knowing where to go and who to ask for help. Communication plays a large role in the project's success. An inspector needs to be able to communicate effectively with the contractor and also with his or her peers and supervisors. Inspectors need to know how important their role is on a project and have ownership of the documentation they provide as a permanent record on the project. Challenges for project personnel could also include a lack of experience due to attrition and the lack of available training. They may not have a clear understanding of requirements and may not yet have the skills to manage time and projects effectively. Therefore, it is important for project supervisors to have open communication with their project staff and equip them with the resources and training needed. The experience level of the inspection staff will determine the level of support they need. Help the inspection staff grow by providing consistent support and supervisions on all levels throughout the project. This will ultimately ensure the finalization steps of a contract are staying on course and complying with the timeline for completion. All line items on a project must be certified and accepted. Everyone should be familiar with the Evidence of Inspection Report, which details the acceptance method for each material line item approved by the Materials Division. The Evidence of Inspection details the sample type and testing and acceptance methods of each item used on a construction project. Everyone needs to know how important their role is on a project and have ownership of the documentation they provide as a permanent record on the project. The Evidence of Inspection relates directly to the detailed sampling checklist. This is a report that is generated to verify that each material used on a project has met the required materials acceptance method. The district materials staff will set up this report and will approve the line items once pre-certification has been requested by the project supervisor. All parties should have a clear understanding of the requirements from the onset of the project. The documentation verifies acceptance and justifies payment of the materials used. It becomes part of the permanent record on the project. Materials Division staff assist each project by performing quality assurance testing as required in the West Virginia specifications. They approve quality control plans and other materials-related procedures and plans related to the project. The Materials Coordinator approves material samples that are generated in the project records. They also work with the project to ensure the contractor's quality control samples are entered as well. These duties are directly related to the process of finalizing a project. If the proper documentation isn't available or is not correctly identified or submitted, it could delay the certification of each materials line item in the project, thus delaying finalization. Communication between the project staff and the District Materials Office is important to the project. The project staff must notify the Materials Division of quality assurance testing needs. It is important for the Materials Division to communicate rejected sample information back to the project. Those are examples of how communication on all levels is required and should be handled. When samples are not generated in a timely manner, it creates a delay with verifying the materials certifications from the Materials Control Soils and Testing Group, or MCS&T, and will delay the overall finalization process. Once an item is complete and documentation has been finalized, each item can be sent to the District Materials Office to be pre-certified. Once all the material certifications have been verified, the Final Material Certification Form, or MC8, is sent. Completion of this form means that every item placed and paid for on a project has been verified and certified. Work closely with the project personnel to ensure this is a smooth process. This will ultimately ensure the finalization steps of a contract are staying on course and complying with the timeline for completion. The District Finals section reviews project documentation for accuracy and completeness. They act as liaison between the District Materials Lab and the project to resolve any issues. The office manager works to compile the documentation for the final estimate package at the completion of a project. Once all finalization documents are acquired, the final estimate will be generated and sent to the contractor for signature. The main challenge for those working in the district finals section is not having the documentation available for the final estimate package. The finals section will then continue to work with the project supervisor, the materials section, and the contractor to track down this information. This can be minimized if good communication between all parties is encouraged throughout the project duration to ensure documentation is complete and submitted on time. The district office manager must prepare and send the final estimate package to the project control section of contract administration. The final estimate package includes a checklist of items, many of which are reports generated in the project reporting software used by the Division of Highways, which is currently Site Manager. Additionally, the BF-150 form is crucial to the closing of the project in terms of finances and is now required. Any missing or inaccurate data in the final estimate package delays the process of sending it on for final approval and ultimately bringing the contract to completion. The final estimate package must then be approved by the Director of Contract Administration, the Deputy State Highway Engineer, the State Highway Engineer, and the Commissioner. The approval dates are entered into Site Manager on the critical date list for the contract. The Finance Division reviews and approves the final estimate package and processes any final payment that is required. At the beginning of each month, the Finance Division sends the Project Control Section a report indicating all contracts from the previous month whose final payments have been processed. This concludes the finalization process for the state. The contractor is responsible for submitting all documents on a contract in a timely manner. Some of these documents must be submitted prior to the start of the project. These include documents such as the subcontractor requests, quality control plans, and planned sources of materials. It is important for the contractor to effectively communicate daily with the project personnel regarding progress, documentation, testing needs, and results. The contractor will provide all documentation for materials certification prior to or when materials arrive on the project site. The contractor must follow all DBE and EEO labor compliance policies and will provide certified payrolls when required. When a change order is approved on a project, the contractor must work with the project to provide the needed documentation so it can be generated in Site Manager quickly. The contractor must also then sign and return change orders quickly as well. Failure to do this will cause delays in the project finalization process. According to West Virginia Standard Specification 105.5, contractors shall give the work the constant attention necessary to facilitate the progress thereof. Therefore, working as a team, it should be everyone's desire to communicate and work towards the common goal. Challenges that a contractor may have that affect the finalization process include missing material acceptance documentation on the project, lags in the process to follow up and complete any punch list requirements, delays in signing and returning the final estimate and final change order, and verifying that all taxes are paid. These should be aided by the awareness of expectations and good communication with the inspection staff throughout the project. If not, this could delay the project finalization process. We have identified some of the challenges of the project finalization process. We are able to meet those challenges by identifying the opportunities we have to improve finalization. If everyone understands the requirements and their respective role, we should be able to work together to meet the goal of finalizing projects on time. We should start every project with the end in mind. That end should be a completed project where all the materials items on the project are certified and accepted, all quantities are verified, all estimates are paid and signed, and all documentation is complete and ready for the final estimate package. Communication is the key to a successful project. Support, trust, and responsibility are required. Finalizing a project is more than just paying estimates. Each material line item must be documented, certified, and accepted. The department must be a good steward of the funding allocated on each project and aware of any delays in closing out a project that will cause issues in available funding for future projects. The bottom line is, be accountable, stay on top of the requirements, and communicate effectively with your team. Additional information is available on the West Virginia Division of Highways website. If you have any questions, please contact your immediate supervisor. This video has been created by WRA in conjunction with the West Virginia Division of Highways and the West Virginia Contractors Association. Thank you.